Hello, fabulous people. This is the Together podcast, and this is the place where Cherise and I come together to help you get it together for your everyday business life. So we hope you enjoy.
Second of all, I know this is going to sound like the craziest thing, but I got my eyebrows done, and they really do look better.
You can tell they look good. They got that brown tint on them too, girl. I see you. You looking real fabulous today with that hair up. Yes, you look good.
Today. Oh, it's so good that I've been running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. I do not know the title. Q, what's the title for what we're supposed to be talking about today?
Give me a second. Let me open it up.
Hold on. Okay. I got you too. Hold on. I just pulled it up.
Welcome everybody. While we find the title for today, I am Natalie, Elliott, and this is the fabulous, the amazing, the wonderful, the great Cherise B here with us today. And this is the Together podcast where we come together to help you get it together. Yeah,
Burnout.
You see, we are always trying to get it together.
Yes, we're always trying to get it, but we do. Burnout or breakthrough, choosing resilience over exhaustion.
Oh,
it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
Two things I want. I got so much to say about that. All right. So first of all, y'all know I'm in a new coaching program. I'm excited about it. I'm hearing things that I haven't heard. It's always nice to be in a new learning environment with a different set of people.
Yes.
And so one of the things that she has said that I'm like, wait, what? Stop. I don't know what you mean by that. So one of the things that she has said is overwhelm is a choice. What do you mean? Because I just feel overwhelmed. I'm completely overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And so I've really been sitting with that. And I think that goes along with burnout because I think overwhelm is on the road to burnout.
Oh, absolutely.
The other thing is this girl, Dion Sharon, who I've listened to her podcast a couple of times, and she was saying burnout is relative to the money in which you are making. And she said, if you do a certain amount of work and you only make $50,000 from it, you'll say you're burned out. But if you do that same amount of work, but now you're bringing in $250,000 worth of money, you won't feel burned out. And so I'm looking forward to testing that theory and seeing. And so I've really been thinking about those two things. Like, are we choosing overwhelm? Is it the thing to do? Is it the popular thing to say, oh, girl, I'm so overwhelmed? Like, because there are some times when we want to say something or feign something so that we're accepted, so that we're one of the group. Yeah. Like, oh, girl, I'm burned out because everybody burned out right now. So you want to be burned out with everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's what the crowd is doing and that's what the crowd is saying. Yes. Instead of forging your own path and saying, oh, I refuse to be burned out. Yeah. I rest when I need to rest. I sleep when I need to sleep. I spend time with family and friends and I do the things that rejuvenate me. And I purpose to do those things so that I never burn out. I don't know why y'all living that burnout life. I don't hear many people saying that. And because I think this is the more popular thing to say is, oh, I'm burned out. Oh, I'm struggling with burnout. Oh, I'm getting burned out. And not realizing it's a choice. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on it. So Cherise, take it and run with it. Whatever way you want to go. And if you need to go a completely different direction, then do so.
Yeah, I have so much to add to that. I had a podcast with my girlfriend New the other day, and we talked about the pivot. You know, when it's time to pivot, one of the signs of it's time to pivot is the overwhelm and the burnout. You know, but I think a lot of people have taken the word pivot sometimes as, I think we hear it negatively sometimes, and we think that, oh, you changing your mind, you are quitting in a way, you know what I mean? And no, pivot is just repositioning yourself in real time. Yeah. And that's what you have to do sometimes in that overwhelm, literally reposition yourself in real time. And it's very necessary because when you start to recognize the overwhelm, which is going to lead to burnout, it's a must that you pivot. It's a must that you reposition, right? So one of the things that I think I'm seeing a really major difference is, you're right. Some people do want to do the popular thing. Some people want to use the buzzwords, right? We got so many now with social media. And people are finally coming to a very transparent place in life. But also we're caught up in social media and using these buzzwords. But real talk is overwhelm and burnout is making people ill. Ooh. Overwhelm and burnout is causing people to lose their businesses and their marriages. You know, I bet a lot of people in your maritalpreneur program are burnt out. Overwhelmed and on their way to burnt out and don't even realize that it's a choice. Part of the choosing, I do believe it can go, you know, in different ways because a lot of it is programming. Because remember, we were pretty much programmed to go work hard, you know, go work hard and wear yourself out, because if you ain't doing nothing. Right. So this generational thing, it can be a lot of confusion because we are kind of pivoting. Gen X is kind of pivoting to realizing like, oh, I got to take care of myself. And it's more important for me to take care of myself than to be out here hustling and getting this money. Like, we're moving very much out of hustle phase and working smart. I think hustle phase is where you get the overwhelm and run into the burnout, right? Yes. That's what we've been doing for the last 25, 30 years. Is hustling and getting overwhelmed and getting burnt out, you know. Thank God for the wisdom to now realize that I got to take a break. If I don't take a break, life is going to make me take a break, and then I might not bounce back from that break.
Listen, I have seen that with clients and friends. Okay. So if anybody out there and you have had two different people in your life say, man, you looking real tired, I think you might need to take a vacation or a break. I'm telling you right now, that is your signal that you better take that vacation or break, whatever that looks like. And I know your immediate is, but I can't because da-da-da-da. I have seen in it, life, your body, something will sit your tail down. And so go ahead and do it. Like I promise. I had 2 or 3 clients and I was like, you know what? You're not making it up. You really do look tired. Like you start to look like run down. Like, I don't think this is good. I think you need to take a break. But I can't, and my clients and I'm the only one and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, something, either illness happened or something kind of tragic happened. They had to sit them down for a while. And so you couldn't figure it out before, but now you have to figure it out. And so I encourage you guys. That's one of those, it's a Bible scripture that says, judge yourself so you don't have to be judged. And I think that falls into this. If you can look at it and you can say, hey, yep, 2 people done told me how tired I'm looking and that, you know, I probably need to take a rest. Let me judge myself. Yeah, I am tired. I do need to take a rest. Let me figure out how I can do this and make it happen on your own terms, because it's going to happen. Like it's going to happen. And so worst case scenario is usually, specifically, it usually for my African-American females right in their 40s. The ones that have been handling it and 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 handling it. And something's going to happen and you're not going to be able to handle it anymore. And so if you know right now, you're one of those people who's just been sweeping stress under the rug, trauma under the rug, craziness under the rug, or stuffing it in the closet, whatever you want to say, you know you haven't dealt with, I'm telling you right now, take my voice as your number one warning. That either sit down, figure it out, and get it handled, or it's gonna break you down at the worst possible time. Like, and you ain't even gonna see it happening. Something random is gonna happen, and then next thing you know, you crying and you can't stop. Because you haven't cried for the last 10 years. Every time you start to cry, no, I can't cry. I need to stay strong and keep moving. Now you're crying and you can't stop, and you don't know what's going on. And so let's handle that. Let's get it taken care of. Let's figure it out now. Let's do that.
So that goes back to our title, you know, burnout or breakthrough. You know, I want to speak personally to that 40-year-old self my 30s going into my 40s. 30s going into my 40s is when life really started to like get serious. Wait a minute. I'm 40 something, right? And I remember 40 was so, I thought I was going into smooth sailing. And I wonder how many people can relate to this, because I thought I had struggled so much in my 30s, right? I thought I did. Well, come 40, I really thought I was about to smooth it out. I was just, business was moving a certain way. It was good. I just got married, and I just knew that I was getting ready to move into this beautiful, smooth place in life. And when I tell you, it was the complete opposite. It's like, everything just went to hell.
Oh, wow.
in my 40s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang. So ended up, 10 years later, going through the biggest struggle of my life, coming on the other side of my 40s, the biggest struggle of my life, divorce, business, the worst place I had ever been in business, just personally, internally, spiritually. I was just like, what in the world? So I'm about to go into 50 like this? Are you serious? This couldn't make sense, And I remember opening up my mouth one day because everybody kept asking me, oh, how's the family? How's the family? I was like, look, I'm about to get a divorce. Girl, what'd I say that for? It's like the person that was in my chair, she was like, girl, me too. I was like, what? I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was telling me, she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, don't be sorry for me. I'm okay. You the one with the kids and the, this and that and the other guy you got going on. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
But as I opened my mouth and just shared, it was outrageous the amount of women who were going through something extremely similar, right? At the age of almost like going on 50, right? Mid 40s to 50. And it's that moment when, you may be so successful in one area, right? Things are going amazing. And then the rest of your life is just falling apart.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm confused. I don't know what's happening. And a lot of the women that I was seeing that were ran down, like they were just tired and ran down. And I was watching and I'm like, look, I was like, hey, we got to pull it back together. We have got to come together as a community and we have got to help each other. We got to figure out, because everybody's over here in secret and in silence, and you are overwhelmed and you are burnt out, but nobody knows because you're keeping everything to yourself. You feel like you can't share, but no, girl, we're going through the same thing. Why are we keeping this a secret? And I understand protecting yourself and I understand protecting your reputation and all that stuff, but that's why women and men, every human out here, be a safe space for people.
Please.
Build a safe community for people to go and let their hair down and just cry with you and just open up to you. And I think a lot of people feel unsafe because of some of the experiences that they've had in their past, right? But if you think about it, if you go back and say, can I trust me? Can I trust myself? And who do I have around me? Let's think about, who do I have around me that I can trust? It might not be necessarily the closest best friends. It might be that person that you just know is dependable and will hold your secret like a vault. Like me. I tell people all the time, like, hey, listen, you need to talk. You need to get it out. Call me first. Don't go sending out no crazy messages. Don't go out there going crazy on nobody. Call me first. I don't care what time of day or night it is. I'm available to talk. Your information is safe with me. But I know everyone needs a safe space and be that for people. And like you said, tap in. Like, you don't look right. You need something. You need to talk. What you need.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'm here for you. Right?
Yeah. All right. I want to talk to somebody. Y'all, I always want y'all to have something practical to take away. So Cherise just gave us a very practical tool, and I want you guys to be able to utilize it. So it's having one person or a circle of people in your life who are not directly involved in your life, so you can just talk to and get feedback without any consequences for your life because they're not in your life.
Judgment.
No judgment. And so mastermind groups work well for that. You can flat out hire a therapist to work well for that. Your stylist might be willing to listen to you. And so, but I want you guys to strategically think, who are the people who are in my life? Who can I bring into my life? How can I add this to my life so that I have somebody that I can talk to that's outside of my world? They're just a little outside of my world so that I can really talk and I can really vent. And so I have a call I do with colleagues once a month. And we were talking about that's the role we serve for each other. Is because we're colleagues, we're not friends, we're not involved in each other's lives. So it allows us to have this space to just say, this sucks. You know, one of my colleagues, her husband had passed away, and she was able to come into our group and say, I love it that everybody loves me so much and wants to support me, but I want them to hell out my house.
I know that's right.
And so it was, that juxtaposition of being grateful and thankful and then also being tired. And so I want you guys to have that space. So this is a very strategic thing for you to do to make sure that your life has all of the supports in place it needs to have, where it needs to have support. That one place where you can go out and say, this sucks. This isn't working well for me. I don't know what I'm going to do in this, but blah, 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 blah. And really, really, really get that out. So, and I think that's one of the things that will help you move from burnout to breakthrough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, Cherise, because you've written books, you've had talks, you've worked with so many people. How, if you had to give steps for people to move from burnout to breakthrough, what would be the steps you would give them?
I would say start with the self-awareness. Sit with self. I always start with sit with self and get self-aware. Like, where am I really? Like, why am I feeling this way? And here we go into another conversation and topic that I don't want to tap into today. But a lot of us women, most of us are dealing with our perimenopause and menopause situations, on top of, like, it's hormonal, honey. Like, so much of it is hormonal on top of just real life situations that you're walking into every single day in your business and personal life, right? So the way that you used to handle things in your 20s, you're handling them differently in your 30s. And then you're handling them a totally different way in your 40s and then into your 50s, right? Because your emotions aren't the same. Your hormones aren't the same. So your reactions internally are different. You feel you're more sensitive at times, and not just emotionally, but physically, right? Yes. So your body, used to work out in your 20s and 30s, and give me 2 weeks and your body would do one thing, and here you are in your 40s and 50s and your body is not doing anything.
Your body mad at you that you went to work out.
That you went to work out, right? And, people literally are getting injuries and things like that. So it's the self-awareness of, where am I now? Like, who am I now and where am I now? So that I can adjust and I can reposition so that I can handle me properly, right? You're still trying to handle 40, 50-year-old you like you're 20. It goes back to a really great example, dating. Why are you still trying to date the person that you were dating in your 20s and in your 30s? Why are you still trying to date that same person? And I mean, in general, like the type of person in your 40s and 50s. Ladies, no, that's not your that's not your demographic no more.
Let me make y'all laugh. When I was in my, I think early 20s, like in college, and I have an aunt who's just wonderful at giving wisdom.
Yeah,
like, ladies, I'm 50 years old. Ain't no way in the world I should be dating a man that ain't got no car, a vehicle, and a job. There's no way I should be doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so it was just one of those things. It's like, really?
Yeah, it's not the same.
it's making those transitions. And I think one of the things that I see women do that I don't want them doing is comparing themselves to their 20-year-old self, as opposed to other women who are around their age. So don't think, oh, I used to do this, I don't used to do that. Think, you know what? That woman has some characteristics that I would like to embody. I'm going to work toward that. I'm going to work toward that. I'm not going to work toward that. But please stop trying to be who you used to be. You're just not.
Let her go. Let her go. She served you at a time, and it was wonderful. I'm sure it might have been some good, bad, and ugly, but I'm sure it served you at some point. But you are not her anymore. You have evolved, honey. You have grown.
Go with the evolution. Okay. All right. So number one for you would be self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Yeah.
What would be number two?
Self-check. Number two, I would say have others around you help you check yourself. You know, like you said, like that community. Like, who is it that I have around me to make sure that they tell me the truth about me? Even if I have to ask, like, you know, Natalie, like, you know, like you and I would be really great because we're not around each other every day, but we have a really great, honest, transparent relationship. Like, Natalie, what you think?
Right.
Based on what you know about me?
Yeah.
And the therapist and my friend and doing business with me. What you think? You know, and I thought that was for me. That's why we had this podcast. That's when we were in the chair at 4 a.m. in the morning. Those were the things that we went back and forth about. I'm like, girl, what you think? I think that. She's like, and I always get compliments from my therapist friends and clients like, you got a good point. You're a mini therapist. I'm like, yeah, because of y'all.
But they say birds of a feather flock together.
Yes. So definitely, you know, that community. So that self-check and then that community, right? Okay. And then putting in the work. You know, like, what is the work that needs to be put in? That comes from the self-awareness, right? That comes from those around you telling you, okay, well, sis, I noticed that you used to have this habit. Now you don't let that habit go. That habit was good for you. Nowadays, you over here, but I believe it's because of the overwhelm, because you just don't let yourself go. You done got this new job. You done got this new man. You done got the kids out the house. You're an empty nester. You supposed to be out here flying, and you out here looking a mess and depressed. Overwhelmed. No, it shouldn't look like that. It's not supposed to look like that. It should look like this for you, a little bit like this, you know. So let's put some work in. What work is that? Okay, sis, let's go work out. Let's go hiking. You know, let's go on a retreat. Let's go do some things together, right? Let's take action. Like, and don't be embarrassed or don't feel ashamed to hold your friends and your people accountable. Your friend doesn't mean it's someone, like I said, it doesn't have to be someone that you talk to every day. It doesn't have to be your bestie. Just hold your sister accountable. You are your sister's keeper, right? So if you see someone you're not that close to, let them know. Let them. If I'm in the street, Natalie, and I see a lady and her hair is messed up, if I see a lady, her skirt up in her panties or something is hanging and not right, I might feel a little cringy for me and for her. Guess what?
You're going to do it.
I have to. It's my mandate to make sure my sister is good. That's why I do the work I do. Yeah. It's up to me to make sure I put my expertise on you and make sure you have what you need from me. Yeah. Right? So make sure we're putting in that work together as a community.
That's so good. That's so good. All right. So number one, self-awareness. Number two, community. Do you have a number three?
Yeah, that number three is putting in the work. Like understanding the work that's necessary for you to put in to pivot, right?
Gotcha.
You know, like I said, for you, it might be, I might not have been to the gym in 2 years, you know, and I'm complaining about my weight and my clothes and, you know, not being attractive and all those things. Well, it's time to put in the work. You know, and it might not be that. I just could be in a more depressive place than I've ever been. I don't leave the house. I work from home all the time, right? I never leave the house. Get out of the house. Like, that's putting in the work. You know, make yourself get up, go walk in, or just leave the house and go hang out. Yeah. That's putting in the work.
Yeah, definitely the people who work from home. I think you need to have some type of routine that requires you to leave the house daily, or at least Monday through Friday. So at the very least 3-4 days a week. But maybe it's you get up and you go to a 5 a.m. exercise class and then you come back home and then you're working. Or one of my clients, he lived somewhere where he could walk to get coffee. So every morning he had to walk and be at the coffee place by 8:30 so he could be back home working by 9. And was like getting out of the house. It was a little bit of physical exercise. It was engaging with other people. Was just that little bit of life that helped the day go smoother, and it kept that depression away. Because it's like, and there's something about, I don't know if y'all have noticed, you dress a little bit differently when you know you're going to see other people out in public than you do when you know you're just jumping on a computer.
Real talk.
There's just a little bit.
All the way down. You put on some pants.
And so, I be looking so crazy, y'all. I be looking so crazy. Like the commercials say, like blazer, blouse, top half, pajama pants on the bottom half, and they ain't got the match. They ain't got the match. Y'all ain't gonna see that. No, they ain't got the match. They ain't got to do nothing. So I be looking like a straight little clown upside.
Yes.
My mom probably be so upset with me. But nevertheless, all that to say is figure out what works for you. Try different things until you figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
So it's okay to try this and then try this and then try this and then try that. It's okay. You got to fine tune and figure out what works for you. And then what works for you today may not work in 2 years. It just may not. We was talking about workout. The workout routine you did when you were in your 20s may not be what your body needs now. It probably needs something completely different. So be willing to figure it out. Be willing to figure it out. I'm gonna put that as the number 4. Be patient as you figure out what works. Be patient as you figure out what works.
That's good.
And so as you were talking, I was thinking my steps would probably be the same. Would be the same. I would think on the self-awareness, you may need support to be aware. And let me, for example, those of you guys who are the oldest in your family tend to feel automatically responsible for everybody else. And that's just your default way of thinking.
Yeah.
Until somebody says, no, you ain't got to do that. You may not understand or realize that you had a choice. And so it will take somebody else saying, no, you ain't got to do that. They grown adults. They take care of themselves. And so your default thinking will probably need somebody else to point that out to you, because that's just the way you think it is. But that's just the way. And my grandmama told me I had to take care of everybody. And so I had to take care of everybody.
Oh my gosh.
I think we had a conversation with your grandmama. I don't think she meant for you to be run down and take care of everybody. Yes. I also don't think she meant for you to be broke and everybody else chilling and living their best life. And because you got that mandate in the back of your head, you hadn't even thought about how to do it differently. You hadn't thought about, okay, maybe I take care of everybody with a word of advice, but I stopped giving them money because it's not helping them. It's hurting them. It's prolonging the inevitable. It is keeping them from feeling the consequences of their actions. And so because you've been intervening and helping and giving them money for the last 10 years, the lessons that they should have learned when they're 25, now they're not learning until 35, 45, because you were keeping them from learning the lesson.
Yeah. Ooh, that's so good.
All of you guys, you may, to get some self-awareness, you might need to get a little help and support in that. I get you.
That's where that community comes from.
I understand. I had the same support in my 20s. I'm the oldest of 7. So I had the same support in my 20s. And then we'll see, in my 20s, because I felt like all my siblings should have a cell phone. So I think my cell phone back then was like $400. And then I got support, because it dawned on me that I didn't have to do that. That I probably shouldn't have been doing that, because everybody can get a little job and pay their own cell phone bill. They weren't paying rent. They weren't doing that now. And so,
that is the part of being a leader. Like, that is the part of being the oldest. Like, that's a breakthrough The way you said that hit me really different today. I've heard it. I've understood it. But that being responsible for everyone, I walk around with a lot of guilt because I feel like I was supposed to be the rich auntie that could take care of everybody, that could house everybody, that could make sure everybody had everything that they needed. And that's guilt for me, because I'm supposed to be rich. I'm supposed to be Oprah's best friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm supposed to be like Oprah. And why am I not? And I'm probably not because you done gave everything away.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you are not everyone's savior. And stop feeling guilty. Like, you are responsible for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then guess what? When you take care of you and get where you're supposed to be, everyone else will get the residual of it. But you are not, you are not responsible for anyone, especially if you didn't birth any children.
How about that?
I think that's our problem. I think I had went through some therapy and with the validation that's part of, the people pleasing and, trying to show up for everybody and trying to show everybody, I don't have no kids and I don't have, I'm available, blah, 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 I'm free and I'm flexible. And you're not. You're not that free and flexible because you're building a freaking empire. How you that free and flexible? You can't build your freaking empire to take care of the people because you out here taking care of the people down here. Right. Instead of taking care of you and getting up here, so it's easy to take care of the people. Yeah. Like, it's deep. It's
Girl,
deep.
That's so deep. I want to say, okay, so y'all know for a while they had that drink responsibly. Drink responsibly. I feel like I want to say, be responsible responsibly.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. Can
I say that? Be responsible responsibly. Like, because I think some people are definitely, not some people, I know at least half of you guys in the desire to be responsible, you're doing it in an irresponsible and unsustainable way. So how can you be responsible in a sustainable and responsible way? Which may mean I can't give you this money right now because my mortgage got to be paid and I'm not going to be behind on my mortgage because you might need somewhere to stay in 3 months down the road. Yeah. So I can't be looking crazy because I might have to take care of you. Or it might look like, okay, I can't give you 1,000 because I know you ain't gonna pay me back. You know you ain't gonna pay me back. You ain't never paid me back. But how about I'm gonna give you 100 and we're gonna call it cool. This is a gift, and you ain't got to worry about thinking about trying to pay me back. Can we do that? And so I really want to really talk about those people, those of us which feel highly responsible for everything. Highly responsible for everything. Try to figure out how you're going to be responsible in a more sustainable way, which is means you're probably going to have to say some no's, some not right now's. So, hey, let me rework this and think about how I can do this in a way that works for me and it can help you. And I give you permission to do that. I give you permission. And it's a couple of you guys who, like I one line, your grandmama told you to do it. Your mama told you to do it. Your uncle told you to do it. Somebody told you to do it. And you feel like not doing all the things is betraying your word that you gave to that person that has probably now left this earth. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to tell you right now how to do the work. You sit down and you write them a letter because you got to change it in your heart, spirit, mind, and soul. So sit down and write them a letter. Dear grandmama, I know you told me to take care of everybody and I'm trying, but I need to do this differently now because I'm breaking down and now I don't have any money and there's nobody to take care of me. So I'm going to start doing this differently so that I can be responsible and do it sustainably. So I'm going to pull back a little bit and do it differently. I'm going to be responsible for people differently. Is that okay with you? And then sit there what your spirit says. I don't know not one grandmama that would be like, no, that ain't okay with me. I want you to be the one that's broke down. Like, I don't think that's going to sit. But you got to come to it in your heart and spirit that, okay, I can do this differently. It's got to be done differently. It's got to be done sustainably, you know? And so I'm gonna go in on that one more time. All right. So those of you guys who are the ones in your family and the people are always coming to ask you for money. Okay. Go ahead and get a sinking fund, some type of savings account, and just whatever you want to do, a little 1% of your income, 2% of your income, 10% of your income, and just hold it in that account. And then when the family comes to ask you for money, if you got it, you can give it.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you don't have it.
Yeah.
So and so, other cuz got me last week. I ain't got it.
I ain't got it.
And just be okay. Because in your mind, I think what will happen is I've set aside the provision to provide for who I'm supposed to provide for. It's set there. It's not affecting my regular finances. It's not throwing me off. Let me do that. Okay. Yeah. And that's just one way. That may not be the way for you, may not be the way that works for you. But y'all know who y'all are because people on your phone right now asking you for so and so and so and so. And can you help me do this and da 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 da. And so go ahead and prepare for that so it doesn't catch you off guard every time. They're gonna keep asking as long as you keep saying yes.
Yes, exactly.
Why would they do anything? Okay. All right. That's my 2 cents. All right. What else do we need to tell the people about breakthrough, Cherise?
Allow it. Allow the breakthrough. I think you're so clogged up and so clouded, when you are overwhelmed, when you are, burning out, you can't see it. The smoke got you all jacked up. So it's like, allow yourself to breathe. And that's everything we just said, the self-awareness, the community, having accountability and putting in the work. That is what is going to clear the smoke, right? So that you can begin to see with clarity. You just can't see in the overwhelm and burnout, period. Okay. So you got to put this work in.
Oh, girl, I want to give you a high five right now.
High five.
Okay, yes. All right, so let me tell you guys, because I think somebody out there is like, what do you mean? Why wouldn't you allow breakthrough? Let me give you some examples of why somebody wouldn't allow breakthrough. I'm not going to allow breakthrough, or I don't want breakthrough right now, because if I have to get clear and change my life, that means I'm going to have to look at this possible divorce. So it's better to stay chaotic and crazy than figure out how I'm going to have to blow up my life. I'd rather stay clear and chaotic unclear and chaotic and not go through breakthrough, because if I do, then I'm going to have to sit down and deal with this grief that I hadn't dealt with from 5 years ago. And I know I ain't dealt with it. And so it has served me to stay burnt out. It has served me to stay overwhelmed. It has served me to stay in this craziness in which I've created, so I don't have to deal with that. Okay. All right. If I get rid of the overwhelm, get rid of the burnout, get clear, and allow breakthrough to happen, I'm scared because I've never lived without chaos.
Yeah.
I grew up in chaos. I know what chaos is. Peace is scary because if I feel peace, then I'm always scared that chaos is right around the corner. So I might as well never get there. Okay? All right. So, if breakthrough is scary for you. If going toward that direction is scary for you. And if you don't, call me and we'll figure it out. It ain't going to take that long to figure it out. You sit down and get quiet, you'll probably figure it out. Yeah.
May I add something?
Go ahead. Please, go.
Wanting to stay the victim.
I can't let go of my story. Oh, preach.
Girl, people are addicted to being the victim. So if you stay and stick to that story, you get to stay the victim, and you get to, get the people feeling sorry for you, and you get to ask for the money, and you get to ask for whatever you need in that victim space, right?
Say it.
Why would you want to stay in the victim space instead of the victory space? Like you have to evolve from the victim to the victor. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to one day we have got to move from being the victim to being the person who got the victory.
Yeah.
Because deep down inside you want that.
Yeah.
But it is literally an addiction. And I have to let you speak to that as the professional. But like, just speaking to people about like, no, it's an addiction. Like that feeling.
Because my story is safe. It's what I know. And so just like, I do this with TV right now. I watch the same TV show over and over and over again because I know the story. It's what I know. It's safe. It's safe for me because I'm not in a place right now emotionally where I can have more drama in my life. So I go watch the old story. It's safe for me. It's comfortable for me. I know what's going to happen. And so we do that as human beings. We stick with the story. It's safe. We know what's going to happen. As crazy as it is, we will stick with a crazy, chaotic story because it's comfortable. We know what's going to happen. This is what we know. We don't like the unknown. We don't like the unknown.
We don't like it. We don't like it. At all. So let me say this, Natalie, real quick. Have you heard all the drama about the movie Straw that Tyler Perry produced?
No, I haven't heard it yet.
Well, let me tell you, so many women are taking the stance of, I'm sick of him telling this story about Black women, right? Like this poor, broke down, jacked up, just trauma and drama over and over and over and over again. So it's really funny because I had talked to a few people like, oh, it's good. It's so good. I'm so proud of him. He did really, really good. Then on the other hand, I looked last night and there's people who are pissed that he keeps telling the same story about Black women. Right? Girl, so I'm going to tap in today because it's some of my people that are talking about it. So I'm going to tap in today and see where they really are with that. But the thing of it is, it's that same story that a lot of women, not just Black women, but women, period, are holding on to, grabbing onto it. So I'm hearing women who it's so good, and then others who I'm not watching that. That's not me, and I'm sick of that story, and blah blah blah. So it's a lot right now going on. So it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say, as well as Taraji. Like her playing her role, and not in a negative way, but her typical role. Like that's. What they say she's playing. I haven't watched it, but it's a lot going on in the media about it.
Okay. I want to talk more about that, but I'm gonna let it go because our time is running out. This is what I want to say. I want you guys to walk away with this. You literally can write a new story for yourself. Literally sit down and write a new story for yourself. And then read that story to yourself daily until you're living your new story. Okay. Repetition over time will change your brain pattern. It will change your desires and outcomes. And so I don't care how you do it. You can choose affirmations and visualize your affirmations. You can just get more information in your brain about living a different life. You can find a TV show about the life you want to live and purpose to watch it every day. Like there's so many ways where you can get your brain the new information and purpose to live a different story. But the easiest way is sit down and literally write your story. So I was down and I was broke. I was the bridesmaid and never the bride until one day I did this and I did that. I did that. Now I'm on stage speaking to 10,000 women at the annual Essence Festival that's coming up, at the annual Essence Festival. And the people are so excited about what I have to say because I have overcome. And I'm driving my new Land Rover and do that. And then read it to yourself every day until that becomes a new story, until the new story becomes more attractive than the old story. And you can do it. You can do it. People have done it. Find the people who have done it. Start listening to them. You can do it. You can absolutely can do it. And they were talking about, I was listening to, it was such a random podcast. I don't even know how I got there. But they were saying, one of the guys was saying, I couldn't find anybody in my circle that was living the life I wanted to live. But I had an inkling that it was possible. So he said I had to find podcasts where they were talking about the life that I wanted to live. And I just started listening to podcasts. And listening to podcasts is how I finally was able to get my brain enough information to start doing something differently. And I was like, man, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's
That
good.
is so powerful.
That's really good.
Okay. All right. So closing thoughts as we close it down for the day.
Yeah. Closing thoughts is, give yourself permission and allow yourself, to move from being the victim, to the victory, and, if you find yourself in that overwhelm, you can catch it. You can catch it with the self-awareness, right? You can catch it by being around the right people, the right communities. Like, ask like, hey, y'all, have y'all noticed? Am I off? And then just tell them to check me if I am, and vice versa. So it's the self-awareness for me. It's the having a community, and it is putting in that work. Period. Yeah.
All right. This is my final piece. My last words. Final piece of advice is, and I'm still struggling with this myself, but because I'm telling y'all this, I'm gonna start doing it myself. Okay. In my words, I would say, okay, Lord, that lady said that I'm choosing overwhelm. All right. If I'm choosing overwhelm, show me how not to choose overwhelm. If I'm choosing burnout, show me how not to choose burnout. Because I do know we do create our lives. Our words speak our worlds into existence. Yeah. So somehow I probably created this. I ain't happy about it yet, but I do see the truth that I could be creating this. Okay. So I think if we simply start there, show me how I'm creating overwhelm. Show me how I'm creating burnout. How am I choosing this? Then once we see how we're choosing it, we can choose differently.
I love that. Our words speak our worlds into existence. I heard that.
Yes. All right, my dear wonderful. It has been another fabulous Tuesday morning talking to you, getting all of these things out. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys got something out of it today, because we come together to help you get it together. That is why we are here. And to help our own selves get it together.
Okay.
we
all in real time, baby.
All in real time. We are doing this thing. We are learning like you are learning. And hopefully as we're learning, we're passing it along to you so that you're coming along with us as we grow, as we develop, as we mature. Hopefully you're coming along with us and hoping you're getting something out of it. So we will see you guys next week. Same time, same place.
Absolutely.
Okay? All right. Do all the things you're supposed to do. Like, subscribe. What else? What you supposed to do?
Comment. Like, subscribe, comment.
There we go.
Share.
Comment. That's it. Comment, share. Do all the things you're supposed to do. All right.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Audio Jungle.